Welcome to another beautiful episode of Unhitched or Dad Trying, the podcast where two of us go through life in our separate stages and decide whose life is better, the married man with the child or the single woman with nothing in her life. So, nothing in your life. What's that like? That looks a lot like waking up in the morning and making the exact same stupid protein drink you make every single morning because there's no one there to eat it instead of you, and you have a ton of it left over and you're tired of it, but you have to keep eating it because it's only you and no one else is going to eat it. I really don't like the protein drink I'm drinking right now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Unhitched or Dad Trying. Let's stop for a second there. Mm-hmm. So you almost said it as if protein shakes are shareable, which I don't think they are.
Well, the protein bag is. Ew, protein bag.
You share your protein bag with your roommates?
No, that's my bag.
Okay. So even if you do have other people around you, which you do, essentially.
I do, but my food's my food.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't share food.
But you're looking for that special someone to share your...
To take my food that I can get annoyed with. Right. You know? That's all a girl wants, really.
Right.
Someone to eat her food that you complain to later for eating your food.
Yeah, and then you joke... I know the story. You're out, you're about, and let me have it. He always takes the food.
He always eats the first bite of pizza.
Oh.
Which is rude. I'm sorry. The first bite is the best bite.
Oh.
The pointy end, best bite.
Really? Now, I have a big A mouth. I have a big ass mouth.
Did you say you have a big gay mouth?
I have an ass mouth. I have a big ass mouth, and so whenever I put food into it, so like the little triangle of pizza that goes in ain't doing much. If you think about it, surface area of triangle of pizza hitting the tongue compared to next bite, it always covers the tongue way more. So I'm going to contend and say the second bite.
Man,
you really don't think so?
No, I disagree completely.
Well, forget you. Like, just forget you. Get out. Leave.
Hey, bye.
While you're floating away and with someone... Oh, wow. You just zinged back in.
That was the door slam.
Oh, okay. You're not a good Foley artist at all.
Is that what those are called?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Do
you tell people that's what you are?
That I'm a Foley artist?
You do, don't you?
Hi, I work for a hospital. I'm the hospital's Foley artist.
Like, I work for a hospital during my day job, but in my spare time, I'm a Foley artist. Ask me any sound, I can make it. Cameron, give me a sound.
Oh, like right now? This isn't rhetorical?
No.
Dirigible.
No. What? I don't need a fictional creature. I need something.
A dirigible is not a fictional creature.
Something a normal sound would be.
Okay, are we actually doing this?
Yeah, let's go right now.
All right, so you're pretending to be the Foley artist right now.
I'm being being silly.
Okay. I'm going to give you the classic creaky door.
Nailed it. You should nail that door closed because it's creaky.
Okay. Well, pass the ball. I'm open. Pass the ball to me. I kind of meant that metaphorically because I kind of want to do it, but that was a good ball pass. Okay, but it sounded like it's got like a twist or spin on it.
It was in my head. It was a ball. It was like one of the Nerf balls with the tails.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It.
So Cameron,
I was asking for the basketball.
I'll give you a Foley artist dream. Ready?
Okay.
You're underwater and you're blowing bubbles.
Okay, I could do this. Give me a second here.
Oh, you can't. The Foley artist has gone over to.
How about that? How about that now? Catch me outside.
But I just watched you pour water directly from your Brita pitcher into your mouth, and I drink from that Brita pitcher every time I come over.
Well, I am going to wash. I didn't have a cup. It's all about the moment. When you're a Foley artist, such as myself, you really have to be on the ready. And sometimes you're using things that most people would expect me to just drink from a cup and make bubble sounds, right? Right? You would think that.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's not how it's done. Sometimes you got to use some unorthodox methods to make the sounds.
Okay, well, you're the Foley artist, not me.
I am. Thank you. Cam, the Foley artist who works for a hospital.
Such a stupid name. Anyway.
What part? The Foley artist or my name?
No, your name's fine. It's the word Foley artist.
Foley. I wonder where that comes from.
I don't
Foley.
know.
We could Google it later.
Yeah.
Let us know, listener.
It's after you finish big meal and you're like, I'm really Foley.
Okay.
Anyway, back to what's at hand. Today, Cameron.
It might be someone had a lot to eat and they're like, man, that barf sound you made is so cool. How do you do that? Well, I just get all Foley and barf.
And then my art happens.
And my art happens. I just learned, speaking of which, last week I learned that there is an actual artist that barfs up paint.
Oh.
And, it's like an edible form of paint, barfs it up, and sells that artwork.
That's like you're paying someone to have bulimia.
Kinda, yeah.
That's disgusting.
It is. Well, I wouldn't want to eat the paint, so maybe it's healthy that she's doing that.
Maybe, so it's like toxic paint that she then barfs up to save her own life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's always dire. Every work of art is a dire emergency in which she's got to save herself. Otherwise, she's going to die from toxic paint poisoning.
Okay, the fact that people buy this stuff is ridiculous. I want to see it.
I don't know if anyone's buying it. She's making the art. Lots of people make art, but no one buys it.
That is true.
In which I'm just now realizing this, and I didn't realize this earlier. That's actually the plot also of an old Pinky in the Brain episode.
Really?
Yeah, Pinky. You drank paint and I think threw it up or spit it out or something. Anyway, check that episode out.
It's probably where that girl got her idea.
Maybe. So, Lauren, it's just us here this week. Mm-hmm. There's definitely not anyone else around.
Not a soul.
I want to know, how's it going? It's been a while since we've done this here old thing.
Been a while. Yeah. I'll tell you how it's going.
Yeah?
I joined a dating app.
You did another?
And I am already tired of it. I'm deleting it today.
Why don't we delete it right now?
I'll delete it right now. I went on 3 dates last week, and I'm just freaking exhausted.
So, what's the skinny on these dates? The
skinny is they're fine. Everyone's fine.
Everyone's fine, but no one's perfect. Right?
Well, no one's... The thing is, out of the 3, one was decently promising.
Mm-hmm. And before you go on, did you have a Mrs. Doubtfire date scenario with all 3 of them?
Where, I showed up as one person. I went to the bathroom. Then I came back as a middle-aged man.
Okay. Well,
just wanted to see how they treated
I didn't want to assume it was you came back as another woman. Dare I not?
No. I went opposite gender, just like in the movie.
Sure.
Man and woman. I'm like, he's nice to me, but how does he treat Mr. Figglestein, my alter ego?
Turns out he's very sexist towards men.
Yeah, he hates men.
He hates his kind.
I know.
So you did 3. What app are you on so people can find you?
Well, I'm deleting it now. Coffee Meets Bagel. I do find it to be the least creepy of all the dating apps.
Okay.
Because I don't know, you can't just blindly or mindlessly consume people like you can with a lot of the others. You only get like 4 or 5 people a day that you look at and you're like, maybe yes, maybe no. So it's not to me, it doesn't feel as like superficial, I guess.
Yeah, I get that.
We talked really about this to think about it. Right.
Yeah. When we had Rachel Chester on, we were talking about the different dating sites. I think you mentioned Coffee Meets Bagel, and that's more like the edible version of the apps. No pun intended.
The edible version?
Like the more digestible of the various forms. I'm making complete sense here, Lauren.
Well, I didn't know that you could eat apps. I get... unless they're appetizers. Oh! Thank you. Ba-doom, boom.
Lauren has left the building.
Bye. I'm outside the door. Anyway.
Hey, welcome back. You came back.
I missed you. Dating is time consuming and it's exhausting, and it's like, oh brother, I just kind of just want to be single until he just happens to like run into me on the street, not with a car, but like maybe maybe just he throws a hand out there and it like slaps my arm, and then he looks at me and we're like,
But I don't discredit the car scenario too, because you want to be open. You want to be open-minded, and I would say if you discredit the car scenario, you're not open-minded, Lauren.
You're right. I shouldn't immediately not hope to get hit by a car. That's a little
right.
Close-minded of me.
I'm just saying, friend to friend, little advice. I'm married. I've been there. I kept my options open. And you know what? And a little kitty walked into my little trap, and I snatched her up.
You're getting booed by the other room.
The ghost of the ghouls in the room. Because as we've established, there's no one here.
No one here. So that's been my life lately is just chatting. Lots of... Well, I remember one day, and this was so funny to me. I was talking to two different men, and they both texted me at the exact same time the question, so what kind of music are you into? Oh. And one came in, and then a minute later the next one came in, and I was just like, oh my gosh, are they together? Like, what's going on?
Right.
And I thought, what does that even say about me, what kind of music I'm into? I guess if I'm really into music and they are too, that makes sense. I'm not. So I was like, I don't know, good stuff.
Right.
ABBA and Queen.
ABBA and Queen.
Basically. Like Village People. 1970s stuff.
You're covering all the genres.
Yeah.
John Williams, Yeah. Yeah. He's so dope.
S Club 7. Throw them in.
Don't know them. I'm afraid not. Anyway, but you're covering... We've established this before. You're a full spectrum music lover, right?
I am.
That's okay. And actually, that shows a little bit of openness, a willingness to accept new things and cultures. Mm-hmm. That's it. Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
What was the response, though? I must ask.
Of course, it's always the same response. Cool. I like that, too. And I'm like, great. Now we know so much about each other.
Common ground.
Yes. Well, no, I didn't say I liked ABBA and Queen. I give the general, like, I like this and this and this. And I'm just, like, bored with myself while I'm answering their question. But, I mean, I don't know. I guess it'd be fun to be with someone who's game for anything. Like, I'm going to a concert in a couple weeks. It's a Hawaiian father-son folk singing group.
Sure.
And I'm super pumped about it.
One Direction, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's called like Huluhane or something.
Huluhane. Didn't he die of a heart attack? I don't know.
You're thinking of that giant guy, right?
The giant guy. The fat pool guy, right?
Yeah, you're thinking of that guy. No, these are a father-son. What is his name? I'm going to find it for you. Meleuhane.
I've heard of this.
YouTube them.
You know what? Interesting you bring this up. I've gotten in touch with me roots.
Oh, yeah. Your roots, man.
May or may not be socially appropriate, but...
It's being Jamaican.
I ended up... I've realized that I think Island Cam is still in there. I love the Hawaiian music. I love island music.
Do you want to come with me to this concert? You don't want to go.
Only if we can milk it for entertainment value.
Well, that's why you go to concerts, to
post about it on social media afterwards.
On social media,
social media. Which is an interesting part of social media where you take pictures of your feet and share it with people. That's social media.
Yeah. Social fetishia.
I'm pretty sure there's probably a foot fetish social media app out there. Don't want to know about it.
I kind of do.
Okay. We're going to take a look-up break.
Just imagine like a foot censored with like a black bar over the toes or something.
So if you're going to censor a foot, it would be over the toes?
That's a great question.
I don't know.
I guess it's the lumpy part.
I think it would just be over the middle toe and it'd be going up. I don't think it would be going horizontal.
No.
Are you
Why
kidding
middle
me?
toe? Like you're flipping someone off with your middle toe?
I don't know. The middle toe is the sexiest of all toes.
Well, now I know.
Now you know.
The more you know. Cameron.
Hey.
Why are we even here today?
Today we decided to give you, listeners of the world, another little gem of what we like to call Unhitched or Dad Trying. Of course, we've said this. You know it. It's the podcast where we get together and we break down into sometimes too much detail our life experiences to see if Lauren has a better life or I do.
Yep.
This week, we took an old classic. And when I mean classic, I mean old and classic. We visited grandparents.
We did.
We did. Shall we get into it?
I think so.
Boom, 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 topic thunder. What?
Grandparents. What are they? I mean, they're around. We see them hither and thither. They pop up every once in a while when you want them to, when you don't. I mean, sometimes they're not around, and that's really sad. But when they are, you know what? I think it's a good thing. Not to give any spoilers as to my rating, but I think they are a wonderful, cherished thing. I'm pro-grandparents. Lauren, you wanted to say something on the contrary, right?
You mistook me. I am also pro-grandparent.
See, I didn't know that. You couldn't really get out the word. What are you eating?
I'm eating chocolate.
Oh, you ended up going for the chocolate.
Yeah, you had a little bag of chocolate, and I took it out of your pantry and
A little
took some.
chocolate thief.
Yeah.
That actually is a little upsetting because I offered you literally what I consider to be the nicest chocolate in Dallas from the local chocolatier. You turn it down and you go sneaking around in my pantry and get out little chocolate nibs. I mean,
You say it's the nicest chocolate, but it's not to me.
so what is there not to like? I don't like dates, nor do I like almonds, but put them together in a little log that looks like a salami. It's the best thing in the world.
I can't.
Does the word salami strike you funny, Lauren?
The chocolate salami just to me
Yeah?
sounds like the name of a porno. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like,
Chocolate salami.
it does. It sounds like chocolate salami should have like a black censored like saran wrap cover around it, and it's behind the curtain of a Blockbuster.
Of a Blockbuster.
A Blockbuster would never have that. They didn't participate in things like that.
Right. That was, I think they called it Blockbuster Black.
It was like Buster Block.
Buster Block. Oh, gosh.
Anyway, grandparents.
Grandparents. Perfect transition.
Pro-grandparent. Love them. I only have one left at this point in my life. I know. It's sad. The older you get, the less grandparents you get, you know?
That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, and like my parents are now grandparents, which is strange.
Yeah.
They're grandparents 5 times over.
Really?
5 times.
So your sister really kind of holds the...
No, my brother.
Your brother.
Brother has 3. Sister has 2.
What?
Yeah.
Your brother.
My oldest brother.
Oh, your oldest brother. Okay.
My older brother doesn't have any.
Gotcha. I was like, I always forget about the oldest brother. He seems to be incognito sometimes. Like
Incogwhatto?
Incognito. He's away.
Incognito.
Oh.
He lives in Kansas, and he has 3 kids.
And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with Kansas. So yeah, he lives
kids.
far away. But yeah, he's 12 years older than me, so we've never been even close to the same stage of life, you know?
Right.
Okay. Grandparents.
So,
You want some facts about our grandparents?
yeah.
Okay.
Hit me with them gently.
Well, just like we are technically part of the millennial generation,
technically.
as much as we hate it, that's what we're called. But did you know that our grandparents' age, from the age of 69 to 84, they're part of a generation called the silent generation.
Really?
Isn't that weird?
Why
I know. Why are they called that?
is so
It's a great question. Let me find the answer.
let's take a
brief research break.
do you want me to fill in or like monologue while you look this up, or
I thought I had a perfect website with that information.
the perfect website?
Do 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 do. Okay.
I'm not going to edit this out. I'm actually going to let that stay.
There are several theories as to where the label silent generation originated. Mm-hmm. So the children who grew up during this time period worked very hard and kept quiet. That's why they're known as the silent generation.
Sounds about right.
I mean, it's kind of true. I mean, my grandmother grew up Mennonite, which is it's kind of like almost... It's like a hop, skip, and a jump away from like an Amish or
Right.
Quaker.
And it's such a cool name, but anytime someone says Mennonite, I have to take a quick second. I'm like, okay, that's not like something from Lord of the Rings, or like I'm like sometimes I picture like a Black Knight that's sometimes many, and like I don't know. The word Mennonite conjures up just so many different pictures than what it actually means to me. Like, so what is a Mennonite exactly?
It's a Christian denomination, very, 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 very traditional one.
Right. We're
very
talking
old school.
Long dresses, like
long hair. I don't think I really don't know enough about it to speak to it, to be quite honest.
Right.
But that's how my grandmother grew up in Kansas. So it's like that's her generation. I mean, if you think about it, when she was my age, she was married with 3 kids already.
Mm-hmm. Right.
When she was my age, like when she was 15, I was, complaining all the time and wanted a driver's permit. She was like working full time at a pharmacy, like her dad's store her dad owned it. So anyway, it's just our lives are completely different. She
also worked at the sawmill too.
Right. And she walked uphill both ways. And there was
both ways.
Like, there was radio. That was entertainment. And so the things that she's gone from there to now, you know what I mean? It's just so different. Like, they grew up during the Great Depression, or they were born during the Great Depression. Mm-hmm. That's a silent generationer was. What else?
I mean, they still can be.
Dust Bowl happened during their generation.
Wow.
What else happened? They've lived through the Korean War. They've lived through World War II.
Sandlot 2.
Mm-hmm. They saw Man Walk on the Moon. They got to do all these cool things that we just had to learn about. Maybe Great Depression doesn't sound that cool, but
no,
I mean, they lived it. So yeah, that's our grandparents, and we get to. It's crazy to think of these people that like helped create us lived during such a different time, but it wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't. I mean, you've seen we're now crouching up onto that 30, right?
30.
So that's like 3 decades, and that's what they've been around for 8 decades? Mm-hmm. Just 5 more decades than we are.
Dang,
that's not that far away. I mean, 50 years is a long way
away.
But
when you put it like
when you say the words 5 decades, Lauren, it's not that long. But I get that feeling. You really, it's so annoying. People are right. Like, life passes you by. We're gonna be dead soon.
Dang.
It's a depressing podcast.
Gosh.
But as I understand it, you visited or grandmother visited you, or you went to grandma's?
Yes,
to grandma's house.
I need to get back on track. I randomly stopped by my grandma's house last week.
Now, does that work well? Because that also happens. It does. Mm-hmm. Do they like that? Okay.
Well, I don't do it very often. I don't do it as often as I should. But I called Grandma and I said, "Grandma, what are you doing? Can I come over?" And she was like, "Yes." And when I came over, she was literally pulling homemade fresh chocolate chip cookies out of the oven. It was like, if you couldn't have like thought up a better visiting grandma moment,
Right.
And she was doing that whether I was coming over or not, because I saw this giant bowl and I had not given her that much warning. But she's just like, "Oh, I'm making cookies." And I was like, "I love you so much." So I just, my friend Sang was with me. And so she was sweet to be like, "Yeah, let's just stop by." And I went to...
She look like that?
She does. She's prettier than her.
I just Googled grandma's cookies, and there are so many images here.
Grandma Norma is a beauty. And we just sat there, and she made us coffee, and we had our fresh chocolate chip cookies with like the chocolate chips still melty. And drank our coffee, chatted with Grandma. It was so fun. It was just so nice. It was good. It was like a perfect afternoon. We were only there for like an hour.
And that is the perfect amount of time. Am I right? Well, that's kind of like perfect anywhere. When you're stuck in a situation, usually with the grandparents, it's usually conversation, right? Y'all usually aren't playing like Boggle together. Well, you might be.
Maybe.
I don't want to diss on that. But like, that's the sweet spot for conversation in general. But in the grandparent setting, that's like pretty good. I like it. I like it good. No, I have I got 4. I have all my grandparents.
How do you have all of your grandparents?
I'm blessed. Like, it really is quite wonderful. I really don't know what would happen if I lost any of them.
Well, you're gonna have to find out soon.
Jeez.
I mean, not soon.
What are you gonna do? You said that so like
I have a plan.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, Lauren. Oh,
Sorry. No, I don't.
I'm going to be revisiting this if something happens. You're also eating chocolate chips off of a cracker. Just wanted to note that.
I'm using the cracker as a plate.
Yeah, I mean, we have plates. Do you want a plate?
No, this is fine.
Okay. If you think it's fine, then it's fine, I guess. It's just weird. I'm just so worried you're going to pick that up and just eat that.
You need to quit worrying about my cracker plate.
All your plates are cracker plates. And your granny's too. That's right. Just insulted your granny. Deal
No,
with it.
I don't call her Granny.
What do you call her?
Grandma Norma.
That was her preferred name?
Well, actually, David and my siblings were her first grandkids. So I think she was a little in denial that she was old enough to have grandkids. Mm-hmm. So she actually wanted us to call her Norma in the very beginning. And my mom was like, no.
Your mom said no?
Yeah, my mom was like, they're not calling you Norma.
Who's your mom? Your mom doesn't know to respect her elders.
Well, she's like, my kids are not calling their grandmother just Norma. So we started calling her Grandma Norma.
Right.
And what's funny is now she tells everyone to call her Grandma Norma. Like anyone who's like my age or any friends I have, she's like, I'm Grandma Norma. And she introduces herself like that.
Well, it's good she didn't take like a hard no to that from your mom and just be like, call me Norma.
Yeah, that's my no, I'm not a grandmother.
It's interesting you bring that up because we have a similar situation with my dad's side of parents, Jim and Ida. Guess what we call them?
What?
Jim and Ida. Because my grandfather's original name is James, but has always gone by Jim. When we showed up on the scene, we were the first grandkids. My brother, myself, and my sister were the only grandkids on that side. We pretty much came up, and then my mom, dad said, "Hey, what do y'all want to be called?" And they're like, "Why? Like, what is this?" Like, I guess being a part of the silent, I don't know what it was. They just said, "No, y'all are calling us Jim and Ida," and that's the way we do it. And so, people always think it's weird. I really could not picture it any other way. It'd be so weird for me to go back and call them like Granny and Pops or something.
Yeah.
It would be almost kind of like demeaning. I don't know. I don't know because they're active. Like my grandfather, 85, still a practicing architect.
Dang. My grandma still works full time and she's 84.
Really? What does she do?
She works for a company that buys and resells companies.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Granny rolling in it.
Granny works her tail off.
Dang.
I want to find the like most interesting grandparents' names.
Let's run through them. You have your granny and Pops. I have a granny, my mom's side. I'll go ahead and give out mine. Granny and Pawpaw are my mom's side. They're alive. They're active. They go to the Y. My grandmother can. What?
You go, they're alive? They're active?
They go to the Y. They anytime I call them, I always get an update on going to the YMCA. They're very active. They do gardening. They take care of the lawn. They're just moving. So both, the key is don't ever slow down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember when I was younger, we had this cleaning lady, and I loved her so much. She would come every other week, and she was like a member of the family, and her saying was, "When you quit working, you start dying,"
which is true. Studies have shown that to a point. If something debilitating happens to you, you probably should stop working or find another way to work, but it energizes the mind. Grandfather's still, on my dad's side, Jim is still smart as a tack. And then Ida, one of the wittiest people I know.
Man.
She can really bring it to you. So
she should be a guest.
And she really should, but she would probably be here the whole time just saying, "What is this?" She'd probably give us some good tips on how to improve our podcast, which isn't a bad thing.
We could use that, some good feedback.
We don't know what we're doing.
No.
I don't know. I just press the red dot and we go.
Yeah, and I just let you do that and talk.
And then we say, "Hey, Mr. Internet, upload this." I don't know why we talk like children.
Okay, so you've got Jim and Ida.
Jim and Ida, Granny and Papa.
Granny and Papa.
So what names do we got here?
Okay, let's look at these and judge them.
Would be funny if like the top name is Jim and Ida.
Grandma Norma. Baba.
Baba.
Gigi. Baba and Gigi.
What?
I know it. My friend's mom calls their daughter Gigi. Or wait, calls their grandmother Gigi. They use Gigi.
Okay.
Which is one of my favorite musicals of all time. So I like that. Yaya and Papu, which is Greek.
Okay.
And I had a friend who called her grandparents Yaya and Papu because they're Greek.
Yaya and Papu.
Nana and Papa.
Nana and Papa. That is classic American. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I don't like those. Actually,
really?
my dad is Papa for my nieces and nephews.
And you don't like him. You're estranged from your father.
No, I do. He just doesn't seem like a Papa to me. I feel like he's more of a Gramps.
I see your dad as more of a, hey, Pops.
Pops. Yeah, I'm not a pop. Or there's, okay, now these I do not like. Mama and Paw Paw.
Paul?
P-A-W.
Now that's mine.
Is it?
Lauren, you sit here and you insult my very own Papa. I am named after Papa.
Well,
Cameron Papa Carter.
You were saying Papa, which sounds like P-A-P-A. Papa.
You know, I really don't know how this darn name's spelled.
Papa.
Papa. No, Papa. How do you
it-
think that's spelled?
I guess P-A-W.
Well, you know what, Lauren? I think we might be describing the same candlestick here. This is a saying, right?
Okay, I'm going to move on.
Okay.
Mimi and Peepaw.
Ew.
Yep.
Why's it got to be a peepaw? Just because he's lost his... Oh, gosh. Lauren, that's awful.
I'm just letting you know. Graham and Gramps. I like those.
Those are good. Those are doable. I can do
I
that.
like those. They're not offensive to me like some other ones are.
Right.
There's a lot of these are in different languages.
So if you were to make up some right now off the spot, what would you make up?
Maybe like Moopy.
Moopy and...
Moopy and Poopy.
Of course. We knew Poopy was coming right after Moopy. I always know your next step. Now, Lauren, I'm going to say Grizma and Dadat.
Grizma?
Grizma.
Sounds like a sequel to Gremlins.
I mean, gremlins grow old, do they not?
It's Gizmo's grandma.
Gizmo's grandma. Grizmo and Dadat. It sounds like Adat with a D on the front.
Dadat.
Dadat. That's what I want to be called when I get older is Dadat.
Dadat.
Oh, picked up the mic right off the stand. We're having Lauren,
I broke the stand.
let's take a second. Let's calm ourselves. Put the mic back into place.
I fixed it.
Dadat.
Dadat. Okay, what else? I want to name another one. How about what about Moppy?
Moppy?
And Poppy.
But Poppy's a common one.
Poppy? I don't know any Poppies. I had a friend whose grandpa was Big Pop.
Big Papa. Or Big
Not
Pop.
Big Papa. That's different. I love it when you call me Big Papa. No, this is Big Pop. Big Pop. Just B-I-G-P-O-P.
That one's okay. But again, it's kind of a little, I don't know. Big Poppy.
No, not Poppy. You keep adding the way Big Poppy.
Big Poppy.
No,
I'm
just
gonna
kidding.
come. Say it one more time.
Do you want to come over to Big Poppy's house? No, just Big Pop.
Big Pop.
Yeah. Oh.
He sounds over 400 pounds.
I don't think he was.
Oh, hopefully he's still around.
I think he is.
I love it when gosh, like when someone gets a big name and they're small. Like
Give me an example of a big name.
Beatrice.
Beatrice? That's not a name. Beatrice?
Beatrice.
Or Patrice?
Usually B names are bigger names because it's like B and big, you know? Right? Like
Bernard?
Bernard or Beth, you know?
Beth?
Beth is a big name. Come on.
I think here's my question. Is it because you imagine a bee looks like a butt, like a big butt?
Like a bumblebee looks like a butt.
No, not the animal bee. Like the big capital B
I
looks
know,
like
Lauren.
butt cheeks.
Yes, bee does look like butt cheeks. So if you can't remember what a bee is, just remember butt cheeks, and then you got it.
That's how I do it every time.
Oh, gosh.
Every time I write.
You're like, I gotta use the bathroom. Okay, so bee, butt cheeks. Got it.
I know what to do with my butt cheeks.
Everyone says that about you. So you wanted to give us, so you have Moppy and Poppy. I'm going to give us one more here.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say
Lilo and Stitch.
Grotto and Pato. Grotto and Pato.
Grotto and Pato?
Right. You know, it sounds like people that are really into gardening and potting stuff. Grotto and Pato in their
They
garden.
sound like hobbits.
That could be. If you're a hobbit out there and you like the name,
Pato is the brother of Frodo.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. That's right.
Less known, he's high all the time, so he didn't get to do anything.
Oh, Pato. So this is some good stuff. So what else happened with the trip to Grandma's house?
Really, that's about it. It was short, sweet, fun. She was super laid back. She showed me all the renovations she's doing on her home.
Nice. What's she adding in?
She took down a wall.
By herself? Go ahead.
I mean, she didn't do it, but like
She got a running start?
yeah, she was holding a sledgehammer when she opened the door for me. Yeah, so it was fun to see her. I'm constantly reminded how it's getting to that point in life where I'm like, I don't have a lot of time left with her, and she's my only one left. Like the thought of it does make me sad when I think of like her and maybe not meeting the man I end up with. That makes me sad.
Right.
Which hopefully I'll meet him and she can meet him. But, that could happen. And then if that doesn't happen, he wouldn't know any of my grandparents, which is weird.
That's a bummer. That
Yeah.
really is. I've thought about that for a long time. My grandparents live in Austin and my dad's side. And I would always go spend time on the lake. And I would always kind of think like, man, I really want to make sure that whoever I marry gets to meet Jim and Ida and really gets to know them and gets to like experience like this lake, and just like there's so much here that there's a wealth of knowledge. There's just the wealth of these people. They are just like, people love Jim and Ida. They are staples in the small town they live in, and they're delightful. Ida's a riot, and Jim's just the kindest person you've ever met. I want everyone to meet them, and it's kind of a bummer they're tucked away in a small town just outside of Austin. I wish they were like in the city, and like, so like we always make a point of and on top of that, they live at a sweet place, and we like going there too. But
Yeah.
like, I genuinely enjoy. We have a format for visiting our grandparents, and this time was no different. We typically arrive super late on a Saturday or like Friday night. Like I get off work, we do a 4 or 5 hour trip down. Now it's longer with the baby because we now have to stop and breastfeed and do all that. And
I bet you get so tired of breastfeeding.
Oh, I know. It is wearing out these nips. I just, if only there was like a nip butter. Well, there is. I just don't use it. It's for my wife mainly. She does most of the breastfeeding here in the Carter household. That was dumb. I admit. I know.
Just most of it.
So we go down and we sit. We come in, and sometimes they stay up late, kind of like your parents did when you're coming in late, because they're worried. They're concerned that you're gonna go spinning off on the highway, get hit by an 18. Like, I don't know, So they usually stay up. Usually it's Jim is the one that usually lasts the longest, and he stays up, and it will be like 11:30 at night, and he's just there. He's waiting. Sometimes he's falling asleep on his chair, his blue chair, and it's so great. Jim and I have like these matching blue chairs, and it's like their chairs, and they always just love being there. And I don't know, it's their TV chairs, but still, it's like I love coming in and seeing them there. And Jim will usually wake up and be like, "Well, how's it going?" And like, "What's new with you, feller?" And like all these
he says feller.
No, he doesn't say feller.
Oh.
He says
You just got me really excited about that.
no. He just, I don't know. Jim and Ida will just treat you like people. They won't they won't do they actually will do kind of the opposite of the fella. Like, how's it going? Like, what's going on in your life? Like, what's new?
They're not like uber, like cutesy and sweetsy.
No, not really. They're just genuinely nice people. You know, I don't see them as older, really. They're just a set of nice people. And we'll go in, we'll talk to them for about 30 minutes. We'll get tired, go to bed, wake up the next day, and have breakfast. Usually there's bacon involved. And Ida is the best at making fatty, good food. I love it so much. You usually wake up to the smell of bacon. Oh, we do. And it's just so great. We come in and Ida's just like, here's your food. And we're like, okay. And every time we just eat it, she's always good at everything. Like, everything she touches with her hands ends up being like gold, and it melts in your mouth. It's so great. And then we go and we have, we end up chatting while we play a game of Tenpenny, it's kind of like bridge, but it's way more fun than a stupid game. And it lasts too long, but you still kind of like it. And we relax. We play bridge while we're looking out at the lake, and it's just relaxing, and there's no pressure to do anything. You come to Jim and Ida's homes, it's just like, hey, do what you want. We don't care. But if you're going to stick around, we're going to love to talk to you. It's like the perfect place.
That's nice.
And so that's good. We packed up Luna, we packed up Ellie, and we came there. We stay in there. They have a downstairs apartment under their house, which sounds a little
backwards.
It sounds a little backwards, right?
Under their house.
It's hard to describe their house because Jim's an architect and he designed their own house, and it's really sweet. It's actually very modern and like clean, and it has these high countertops. Everything's built for a family of like monster giants. And so I like being there. It feels very homey to me because I can fit in there. I'm like, this is the world I belong in. And so I don't know.
Finally, a world for me.
And then it's usually preceded by an afternoon event of either swimming, going to a nearby town and shopping, or you go to like Pedernales Falls or Austin, and then you come back, have a very heavy dinner, and watch a movie.
And then sleep soundly.
Oh, it's just the best. But we did exactly the things I just described. We did this past weekend, and it was wonderful. Anyway,
yes,
I really enjoy it. I love it. I'm so glad Amy's here and now Ellie's here. I hope Ellie at least gets old enough to have like good memories of her great grandparents, because I had some good memories of my great grandparents, Daisy and Mama Andy, and I was old enough to.
Are those
their parents?
Mama Andy is a man.
Mama Andy is a woman.
And Daisy's also a woman.
Daisy's a woman. So
there are two different.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like
two different.
Very, very progressive.
Progressive back then in the super silent generation. Yeah. They were great. I was old enough to remember them, and so
Your
I hope
family lives a long time.
Yeah,
or
we do.
Reproduces at a young age. I don't know. Maybe both.
No, we are pretty average. No, we have strong genes.
Yeah,
we're a very strong family.
You know, there's something special about when your grandparents live somewhere else and you get to like go and stay and spend solid time with them. I think that's a bit of a disservice that my grandma lives so close. It's good and bad, but I kind of take advantage of it. You know, like I don't take advantage of it. That's the truth. And like my grandma and grandpa on my dad's side used to live up in Washington on the bay, and we would go clam digging.
Oh,
like
wow.
The tide went out and we'd clam dig out, and like it was amazing. And we would spend like just weeks up there.
Right.
And I come to find out later that my uncle thinks that my grandparents were spies during World War II. They were both in the Navy. They're so cool.
Man.
Like, I want to believe that that's true. And if it's true and I just outed my family, but
Amy and I have talked about doing our spinoff podcast where we investigate stuff like that. I would totally want to investigate that.
That would be so cool.
Well, Amy and I will figure it out.
Family mysteries.
Family mystery hour.
Yes.
Done. It's done.
Oh,
it's
solve the mysteries
soon.
of the need. We have so many family mysteries.
Really?
Yes.
What other things do you need sleuthing?
Well, we don't actually know where my great grandfather's, like what nationality he was, because he was an orphan at the age of 12. No, he was an orphan in New York, and then he ran away from his orphanage at the age of 12 And then soon after, the orphanage he lived in burnt to the ground.
Of course, as all orphanages do.
Eventually do.
Right.
And so all records of his family that they had were burned.
Bummer.
So he traveled out west all the way to Washington State. I mean, literally, he went until you couldn't go any further.
Just straight lined it to Washington.
Yeah, and then I think that he became a lumberjack. And so my grandmother's side of the family is all lumberjacks.
What?
And but we don't know what he was. We have no idea. We just make it up. I think he was like Canadian, like a Canadian Indian, like
Canadian Indian.
Native Canadian? They're not Native Americans.
Native Canadian. I was also building that up from the ground, same as you were, and I gave it the same place.
Native American Canadian.
I think it's Native American. Man, we should not dabble in the PC territory because we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't.
I do believe it's Native American if you're in Canada as well because it's North America, right?
Maybe. But I mean, that would explain why I tan so well. And like my dad and my brothers and like they all have like the dark skin, dark eyes, dark hair.
Yeah. I mean, your dad, he's super tan.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that when I first met him.
No.
Man, that's crazy. Did you know that Amy is also, my wife, is from Native American descent as well?
Really?
Adopted, but still.
Oh.
Well,
cool.
It doesn't count. Yeah, cool fact, right? Anyway, Lauren.
We're getting mighty personal, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should, let's get into ratings.
Yeah.
So, start us out.
This is hard, though. What do you do? I guess
let's rate our grandparents.
From a single perspective, right?
Right.
I guess when you think, when I like what I said earlier, it does make me sad that she doesn't know whoever that guy is yet. So
right.
But time with grandma is precious. So I'm gonna give grandma time. I'm gonna give it an 8.
8. Nice.
Yeah.
Very solid. I feel like I say very solid after every score.
You do. Well, she never questions me if I'm dating anyone. She never pressures me. She's never like, are you thinking about settling down? She never does that.
Her first question isn't immediately, what's the ethnicity of the person you're dating?
No,
That's
no
good.
way.
Good.
I can tell, I think in her, she's like this kind of wild spirit that grew up in a time where you couldn't really be a wild spirit. So now I think she lives a little vicariously through me and through some of my cousins with like all of the freedoms that we have.
Literally vicariously. That explains the camera on your head right now. She's got the VR set at home, right?
Yeah, she's just watching.
Hi, Grandma Norma.
But for real, I think, because when you grew up in this generation where it was kind of set what you were going to do.
Right.
So I think because I've done things that like maybe that she wanted to do, but it was like not really attainable at that time. Mm-hmm. She never ever pressures me to like settle down, which I love about her.
It's good.
I feel like we're kindred spirits.
But Grandma Norma, it ain't your place. So back off, Lauren. Let Lauren make her own. No, it was never her place.
I was like, she doesn't do that.
I don't know. I do think it's interesting when the whole family gets their input into that. I think for sure parents, they're allowed some input. Absolutely. They're your freaking parents. Let them say what they want. When you get to the secondary and the ancillary cousin and kin, forget them.
Oh my gosh, my cousins, they're like, where's your boyfriend? I'm like, bite me.
Bite me. Seriously. It's the best response.
It's okay. They'll all eat their words when I bring home Jake Gyllenhaal.
One of these days you'll get them in your little snare.
Yeah. Jake, if you're listening, call me back.
Go for the rabbit. Go for the carrot in the little loophole. It's nothing. Just eat it. It's for you.
Everyone knows Jake Gyllenhaal loves carrots.
Exactly. He's got the best eyes.
Best everything.
So for me, my score, I think it's a solid 9 for me. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm not when I say favorite thing, this last time was a 9 for me. Usually it's going to be a 9 across the board. Going to see Granny and Papa on my mom's side. I love it. We usually stay a little shorter. We typically don't stay at their place, but Jim and Ida, always love seeing them. This time was great. They got to see more of the granddaughter. Granddaughter was on best behavior. We got cheesecake. We didn't get no cookies. Like, I'd have whipped out fresh cheesecake from what?
How dare you?
You prefer cookies over cheesecake?
Depends on the cheesecake and the cookies.
Well, let's just say I think you can make an assumption based off of just generic cookies versus cheesecake.
No, you can't. Plain cheesecake, never. I would take a hot chocolate chip cookie any day.
Oh my gosh, you're eating the wrong stuff.
Dark chocolate cheesecake over oatmeal raisin? Yes, I will take.
Well, what about dark chocolate cheesecake over chocolate chip cookie?
Depends on what the crust is made of.
Comes down to crust from you. On the crust on the cookie. So cheesecake added to it. So solid 9 for me. Everyone was on their best behavior, including the best grandson in the world. Me.
Your brother. Oh, sorry.
And Amy's parents came up. They live in San Antonio and got to come up, and we all had a jolly good time.
That's nice.
And we had ham for dinner. And
that's the holiday food.
I know. There was discussion about that after.
And we had ham.
We were all a little confused.
Was it a honey baked?
It was. It's always honey baked from Ida. And we always got to sit after talking about how great is Costco.
I swear this conversation happens in every family in America.
Right. How great is Costco, and how crazy is it these Chick-fil-A's and their lines of cars outside of them? It was a fine time. It really was. So
Good.
A 9, I do say, in all honesty, it makes sense that the family man's got this one, right?
It's not fair that you have 4 and I have 1, first of all.
Okay.
So it is already an unfair one. And you have, yes, you win this one. It makes sense.
Hey,
You're
sometimes life deals you lemons, and the lemons sometimes are, seniors, and they're your relatives and your grandparents, and you get to go see them. And
yeah, and sometimes you get 4 lemons, and then Lauren only gets 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you should have enjoyed the lemons while you had them.
Shouldn't have poisoned all the other lemons.
And don't come after mine.
I'm just saying, you have a plethora of opportunity to enjoy. And I have so much fun with my 1. I wouldn't trade my 1 for 4 of any other.
Really?
I wouldn't.
You could trade. Let's do this now. Let's play out the scenario. You could trade your 1 for the other 3.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Like the darkest question I've ever been asked.
We'll get back to that. That's part of our new game segment.
It's called Gun to Your Head. Are you a horrible person?
It's called Make a Choice. Yeah. And it involves a pit of lava. Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, I think we've talked it to death.
Don't talk about that. Don't bring up death.
Should we? Let's just move on. Let's move on.
Please.
Let's get into dumb things.
I think so.
All right.
Dumb things.
Cameron,
yes.
give me your dumb thing.
Okay, so for Mother's Day, we kind of just went and did a Mother's Day thing. I'm realizing after the fact, without saying it was a Mother's Day thing, it didn't happen on Mother's Day. And Amy and I really just had a night where we had baby care. Thank you, Mary Beth, Amy's mom, and we got to go out on a date. And so
Hubba.
I know, hubba.
Auga.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, your phone okay?
No, I dropped it.
Well, let's wait. It looks like it's broken.
Mic stand.
Oh, it's fine.
Go on.
We went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy, but before we got to get a tasty dinner at it was fine. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but we went to a place called Makhaiba, and I ordered the wrong thing. I ordered something that had a bunch of onions in it. Anyway,
I forget you and your onions.
I hate onions. I got a not pad thai, pho. I got pho.
What the pho?
Yeah, and I got pho, and it had onions in it. That's the dumb thing. Nope, just kidding. The dumb thing is we were sitting out on the patio of this very small kind of Asian fusion restaurant in our neighborhood. It's a really nice, trendy little place over here. But we go in, being the first ones on the patios, the place started to fill up, and then all of a sudden we're packed out on the patio, and it's young couples coming in, a lot of people doing these dates, but there was this couple that walked in with their dog, and they sat within an earshot of everyone. So Amy and I are there, we're enjoying ourselves, we're munching away, and then all of a sudden, everything just seemed to die in terms of conversation around us, except for this one girl very passionately talking about Mexico City, and South Dallas basically said something to the effect. Let me pull it up on my phone here.
You recorded it?
I tried to write it down after the fact, verbatim. And keep in mind, young, 20-something, maybe college degree, but like, here it is. It says, I managed in Mexico City. It's scarier than South Dallas. People there get kidnapped all the time. I had this one friend that even said that people carry around inflatable children with them all the time. and then of course from there we kind of got lost in the rest of it. But Amy and I was just like,
Inflatable children
as
a decoy?
Well, no, this
or
is
like
this is it. This is what we didn't know. We sat there and we discussed for the next rest of our dinner and on for the evening. What, like, would that even work?
No, yeah, like, okay, put the inflatable kid in the front seat, but the real kid's in the back seat. So when they go for the inflatable kid, let us drive faster.
Right. Well, she wasn't talking about in the car. She was talking about walking on the street. So apparently, I know, rethink this for a second there. Get with me. It's a child that I am assuming you're either holding like over your shoulder, or it's like a toddler or older child that's like a full-size inflatable.
I imagine like a walking child, but that's just inflatable.
Right, exactly. Like holding the hands of this like kind of like very stiff like inflatable person and just walking down the street. Like, I didn't know. Like, I'm like, does someone manufacture this? And
do the cops do this to catch a kidnapper? To catch a predator?
Right, except you put it like a bomb in it and the like child explodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people do it because like I guess people would assume steal children before stealing you. I don't know.
That's terrible if that's really that happening like that in Mexico City.
But we Googled it and we couldn't find anything about this. Like, it's not a thing. So
maybe someone's pranking her.
I could not tell if it was a bit. We considered that it was a joke, and we just didn't understand her style of humor. But yeah. But the idea of just a person holding a hand of a dressed up inflatable child walking down the street, assuming like they're gonna, I don't know, Lauren.
That's a funny image.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's my dumb thing.
I like it. Good.
So, what's dumb in your life?
Oh, so many things. Of course, I had like 6 in my head, and then I walked in and I forgot them all.
I'm like, nope.
But this happened to me on Friday. So Friday, I went to a workout class with my roommate, and she is doing ClassPass, which
Cece?
is no Lauren, which is
Lauren
a
too.
guest of the Blue Bonnet episode,
right?
And she is. So we randomly found this class, and it's in like hoity-toity Dallas. It was a spin class. I found out it's not called a cycling class, which is what I call it. Everyone thinks it's weird I call it cycling. But it's like in the ritzy part of Dallas.
Sure.
I mean, it's like Highland Park and Uptown. It's like where they merge and they're like super, super rich.
Right.
But so I walk into this. I should preface that I didn't know I was going to this class. I thought I was just going to go run on the treadmill at my apartment gym.
Right.
But then Lauren said, hey, let's do this. So I walk in and I'm wearing like, okay, decently, like I'm wearing a t-shirt and like some workout pants. I'm like, all right, feeling good. And I didn't know it was a type of cycling class where they give you shoes. So your shoes clip into the bike.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was one of those like dark in there and like unza spin classes, which was really fun. But the lady's like, oh, what size shoes do you wear? I told her. She hands them to me. She was like, here, let me help you. And I was like, okay. So I took my shoes off and I totally forgot I'm wearing my Disney tangled Christmas socks.
Oh, of course.
Like with Rapunzel on them and Christmas trees.
Right.
And I was just like, oh. And she was like, oh. And I was like, okay. And I like put my shoes in the socks, or my socks, and I put my shoes on. How do you do this?
You usually put the socks on the shoes, and then you put the shoes on your foot. Yes. We're talking about the same candlestick here.
It goes foot, sock, shoe.
Foot, sock, shoe.
Foot,
Foot sock shoe. It's FS squared.
Foot sock shoe or foot shock shoe, like you say.
Foot sock shoe.
Which sounds like the name of the restaurant y'all went to for Mother's Day.
No, not at all. It was Ma Kai Ba.
Foot sock shoe. Foot shoe sock. Foot shock shoe.
Lauren,
Anyway,
Lauren, I'm going to stop you.
So
okay.
she had this moment where she looked at me, and it was one of these moments of like unspoken communication where it's like, I don't belong here. And then she's saying, you don't belong
You
here.
don't belong here.
And I'm just like,
Oops,
okay.
these aren't your size.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
We don't serve your kind here. You're poor.
Meanwhile, she's like wearing Frozen socks, and she just is like,
Oh, yeah.
Frozen is the superior animated Disney non-Pixar film.
I'd like to imagine she was a kindred spirit like that, because I got these socks at the dollar spot at Target.
Sure.
They were $1. They're actually for children, but I got my big old
But
feet into
socks
them.
stretch.
Yeah, butt socks. Stretch.
Butt socks stretch. You want to unpack that for a second?
You said it.
Oh yes, I guess I did. I'm like,
Anyway.
oh, what's a butt sock?
What's a butt sock? I don't know.
My underwears are butt socks if you think about them.
You're so right. And your pants are shoes.
Exactly. And this phone here is an elephant. Life is what you make it. That doesn't apply there. So you, what did you end up doing? So
I cycled.
You cycled.
I
you clipped
cycled
in?
my heart out. I clipped in. I rode. It was fun.
So can you? I know this is your dumb thing, but I'm genuinely interested. This is like Soul Cycle or something like that?
No, it was called Flywheel.
Flywheel.
And I really enjoyed it. Like,
most people don't. Anytime I hear about it, it's usually this is horrible. Like, people genuinely hate this.
I usually hate cycling, but I liked this class.
Okay, so what does the instructor do? Is it like, go faster? I just picture it's an instructor constantly telling you, we're going pretty fast. Y'all ready to go faster? Get ready to go fast. We're going fast. Everyone go faster. Marcy, go faster.
You're not wrong, but like they pace you well, and it was good music. And there was this one thing she did, which I'm a competitive person, so I enjoyed it. She was like, it was the time we were supposed to go as fast as we could, and she was like, you're in second place. You've got 15 seconds left. What are you going to do? You can see him right in front of you. What are you going to do? And I was just like, I'm going to win. And I just started paddling as fast as I possibly could. And I was just like, I won. And in my head, I'm like, I win. So that worked on me.
And they had two gym trainers like walk past you with the finish line. Like,
I was like, yeah.
that would be good. I would pay good money to do like Soul Cycle if someone would do that for me.
It really motivated me.
I mean, yeah, you need a sense of accomplishment after moving nowhere for so long.
That is true. You literally don't go anywhere.
It sounds so dumb. It's like so it's a treadmill essentially. For like, why do that when you could get a real bike and go see the world?
Because it's different. It's different.
You're not winning this argument.
You're not being led by someone. I don't know. I've never ridden a bike that's not just for lollygagging around on a bike. Like
I can picture you on like your old BMX bike that has the tassels on it, and you're just like going around in circles in a parking lot saying la la la.
I used to ride around A&M's campus when I was like 18, mind you. I was a freshman, so I was old enough to. And I would just ride around and like stop in buildings and like park my bike and go in and come out and like
what's in there?
Yeah, I would. I ran into bushes and fell over a lot, and it was. I'm not talented on a bike.
Oh man,
it's bad.
Speaking of which, my favorite part. So I introduced Amy to Wayne's World this past week, having never seen it.
She's never
seen it, and of course, my favorite part of Wayne's World is the girlfriend. I always forget her name.
The gun rack. Cindy?
Cindy.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that doesn't understand that he doesn't have guns to necessitate a gun rack.
And he doesn't like her at all.
Right. But the second part, she shows up, she's riding her bike, and it's the best slapstick piece of humor in the world. She just runs into a car and eats it. And it's just so delightful. So the idea of you eating on a bike is very delightful. Luna agrees.
She scared the crap.
I know. Luna.
Is it on Netflix? Is Wayne's World Netflix?
I don't know. We have it on DVD. We have 2 copies of Wayne's World. Do you want one?
Yes.
You can have it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I've been really wanting to watch Wayne's World.
That's a genuine surprise. genuine surprise after being genuinely scared. So
Yeah, it's a lot of feeling a lot of things right now.
well, let's end on a high note.
Okay.
Why don't we?
Wayne's World.
Good. Well, how do I do this?
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah. So I got it. Jeez. Well, that about does it for this episode of Unhitched or Dad Trying. Catch us next week when we go surfing. Maybe. All right. Check us out on the internet if you can. And hey, tell your friends about the podcast.
And if you have any ideas or things you want Cameron and I to try that you think would be funny, write them to us in an email form at unhitchedordadtrying@gmail.com.
Or you can tweet at me at CamCarter2010, and we'll also look at it there. Don't tweet
at Lauren because she still doesn't remember her password.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that about does it for this week of Unhitched or Dad Trying. Like I said, we may or may not go surfing next week. Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.